Shalom creators. First, I would like to thank each of you for visiting my channel, The Spiritual Alchemist and Temperance Therapist. If this message entitled Duality, the differences between spiritual people and unspiritual people, resonates with you, liking it is the right thing to do, sharing it with like-minded friends and associates is also the right thing to do, and remember to subscribe to be the first to review and receive new videos in your inbox. Thank you for liking my last video entitled America, You Are Safe. Your safety begins within. And thanks to all of you around the world who purchased my book, Temperament Your Spiritual DNA. I hope you're ready for me today. Let's do it. So why are there so many differences between spiritual people and unspiritual people? There are many reasons for this. However, for my purpose today, I will be focusing on the phenomena of duality, which teaches that the Creator had to think of itself as two instead of one to experience life in this dimension through us. Everything and everyone is God, experiencing itself in that form, whether it is animal, mineral, vegetable, or mankind. That is the core fundamental truth that sustains creation. Everything that exists because of the one breath, the one body, and the one spirit. Jesus said, we are all animated by one spirit. This spirit we know as the Creator, or the one who became the many. We are the many. What makes the Earth unique from other planets are the things we have to deal with, like amnesia, which is no remembrance of where we came from, contrast, resistance, and duality. These are teaching devices the universe uses to help us evolve spiritually. Now, duality is a state of consciousness or a belief that accepts the idea that where two opposites exist that are seemingly totally different from each other can somehow exist simultaneously in the same identical space. It says two things can exist rather than one. Opposites like dark and light, cold and heat, rich and poor, up and down, even God and us. These seem to be opposing each other, but they're all an illusion. Religion could not exist in its present form without a belief in duality. Religion needs an inferior to be codependent upon a superior to sustain itself. Religion has a vested interest in maintaining their belief in duality because it promotes dependence upon them. Duality is responsible for everything happening in our world today. It has corrupted all the systems of this world, science and health systems, our political system, our judicial system, and our educational system. Duality has prevented our world from ever experiencing its fullest spiritual growth. Duality is at the very root of terrorism. It's the belief that says when we strike the infidel, we are striking them and not us. But we are all in one mind and of one spirit and one breath. So to hurt another is to hurt yourself. Duality is the illusion represented by the two trees in the garden of both good and evil. It was made for this dimension by the Creator and injected into human consciousness for a learning device, but in reality there is no such thing as the opposite of good. Evil is the illusion. It was made. Good was created. Only that which was created is real and has any eternal value. Everything that God created was very good. There's no such thing as the opposite of good. The experience of good and evil is the experience of duality. God said, if you accept the belief in duality, you will believe that you are separate from Him and there's no such thing as me and you. There's only one. In John 10, Jesus called us gods, and we are the gods, experiencing the illusion of separation. Children are not born with the concept of duality. That they're different from each other is learned behavior. They see themselves as one with everything until their parents and religion indoctrinate them differently. People don't see themselves as good because they're taught to see themselves as evil, which is the absence of good or the ignorance of good. Like darkness is the absence of light, but good is all there is. just like light is all there is. Jesus did not believe in duality. He knew duality is an illusion of separation. He believed he was the same substance as God. He said, I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. Duality is contrast that allows us to make one thing or person superior and the other thing or person inferior. Jesus believed that he and all others were the physical manifestations of God. He said, when you see me, you see the Father. Jesus said, physician, heal yourself. When you see yourself as the one, then you can heal yourself. When you see yourself as the two, you see yourself as separate and inferior to God. Then you disqualify yourself from manifesting miracles. Duality divides us and adds to the illusion of separation between God and human beings, when in fact we are all one on a spiritual journey of spirit and soul, learning and experiencing eternal growth. Duality is the reason for the belief system of the unspiritual person or the religious person. So what is some of the differences between the spiritual person, like Jesus or Yeshua, who did not believe in duality, and the unspiritual person who does? Here we go. Spiritual people believe that God has only one law. That's the law of love. Unspiritual people believe God has at least 10 laws, called the 10 Commandments. But Jesus said they were too much for people to keep. So he narrowed them down to one law, the law of love. Love doesn't hurt. Spiritual people don't concern themselves with appearances. It doesn't matter what is happening to their body or their finances. Without wavering, they will still declare they are healed and they are rich. Unspiritual people believe if they are sick or broke, what they see and feel is reality, or what you see is what you get. Spiritual people know how to laugh in the face of negative events or grim circumstances. They will laugh at the mountain knowing there's more help with them than they can see at the moment. The book of Job said, at famine and destruction thou shalt laugh, and God will meet you. Unspiritual people see mountains as unmovable without human intervention. Spiritual people love unconditionally at all times. They have learned to love the victim and the victimizer. They don't judge, for they understand the law of karma is fair to everyone. Unspiritual people are only concerned about the victim, since they think that the victimizer is going to hell anyway. Spiritual people look to the invisible realm. They know they can make things happen with their minds by utilizing the 6 laws of creation, which I've spoken about in other videos. Unspiritual people are constantly reaching outside of themselves to create a miracle instead of going inside where the power source is. Spiritual people know they don't need cash or credit. They just need to go into the dark to make their creation show up in the light. It's called meditation. Unspiritual people are constantly looking for a cause or something physical outside themselves. They don't believe they're the cause of things occurring in their lives. It's always the other guy's fault. Spiritual people know what they permit is permitted and what they forbid is forbidden. They know that they are making the decisions, and decisions always have consequences. Unspiritual people think everything is being done unto them. They think they have no real power, which automatically gives their power away. Spiritual people are awake to the power of right thinking and right believing to produce their lives and their desires. Unspiritual people don't think words have power to create worlds, especially their own world. So they speak death into their situation all day long without knowing it. And when it shows up, they blame the devil, who is really their ego. Spiritual people believe whatever is in God is in them and in us all. They believe that we are the holographic image of the Creator. Everything in God is in us by measure. Unspiritual people believe in duality, that they are separate from God. Spiritual people are in constant pursuit of self-realization. They want to know their real self. Job said, when you get acquainted with the Almighty, the real self, your money will flow and storms will cease. Spiritual people know that whatever is happening is supposed to be happening. They don't resist evil because they know Jesus said, resist not evil. What you resist will persist or become stronger. Spiritual people are controlled by compassion and forgiveness. They understand the law of karma is a universal law, which states that they are hurting themselves much more when they try to hurt another person or another living thing. Example, people who try to attack others on YouTube and social media are literally attacking themselves. Karma is always worse on the way back to the sender than it was when the attack was first launched. Unspiritual people think truth is a type of spiritual buffet. They can choose the part they deem suitable, like God can love you, but he just can't love you unconditionally, or God can save you, but not heal you. Unspiritual people are not ready for the whole truth. So spiritual people must have boundaries with them and shouldn't give them more than they can chew. Too much light can be blinding. Jesus said, let him who is ignorant be ignorant still. I didn't say it, the wise one said it. Unspiritual people do not understand spiritual people. So they demonize them to make themselves look smarter or to appear more, quote unquote, spiritual. Spiritual people understand the phrase, physician, heal thyself, to be a spiritual directive to take spiritual responsibility for our physical, emotional, and psychological health, for the power within enables us to do so. Unspiritual people think God is going to take care of them no matter what they do or how they live. It's the Jesus is going to fix it bumper sticker that I like to talk about. But Jesus said, physician, heal thyself. Spiritual people know their spirit having a human experience. Unspiritual people believe they are human beings trying to get God's attention. Spiritual people believe their identity is God. Unspiritual people believe their identity is in their position or title at church or in the workplace. Spiritual people believe if they stay on the path, they will eventually turn lead into gold and teach others how to duplicate their spiritual success. Unspiritual people believe they can just work hard enough, they will make it. It is what it is. Spiritual people know the power, the kingdom, and the spirit are within them and can be accessed at any time. Unspiritual people believe the power is in their place of worship, so they must be in that house to be connected. Spiritual people see death as a door. Unspiritual people see death as final. So now you know. Which one are you? Spiritual, unspiritual, or religious? Think it over. This was a lot of meat today. You may want to hear this message over and over again to digest the truth that you've just heard. So please do that. As always, I am Dr. Phyllis Carter Pohl, your temperament therapist, wishing you every gold experience you wish for yourself. Shalom, creators. Have a gold week.